beeping like incessantly, and I haven't been able to get it to stop. So my goal this semester is to get it to stop. But I have to like trade videos with the people in Italy. Okay, so we're at 89 degrees. So we're gonna go ahead and start making our decorations now. Can you hand me that and then that? Thank you.
Bubble wrap.
Wait. Yeah, we're gonna make. I'm not gonna show you the ones that he did on the video. That will be redundant. But I'll show you a couple other ones. So the cool thing about chocolate is it takes on whatever you put it against. So if you put it on something shiny like acetate or foil or anything like that, I think we want this about the size of our hand, then your chocolate's going to be shiny. If you put it against something dull, oh, sorry. If you put it against something dull like newsprint, you can put it on computer paper, and then you can mold decorations on there, peel the paper off, and you can have a matte finish. So we'll talk about that more when we do our show pieces. But it's kind of cool because you have you can manipulate chocolate a lot of different ways. So this is at 90, 89 to 90 is pretty good. So what I'm going to show you first is like the easiest thing you can do, and this is just bubble wrap. So people get really creative about what they put chocolate on. So this one, we're going to put it on the bumpy side, and it's going to create indentations in our chocolate. You can also use embossing mats like you use for cake decorating. And then I've had people tell me like they've gotten light fixtures like from Home Depot, and you can put chocolate on a light fixture and get that texture. So I think when I first went to one of my first demos, they used Tupperware lids. You know, the old-fashioned Tupperware lids that have like the little rays, and they made like these really cool patterns, like paper fans almost, with a Tupperware lid. So, I mean, you can really put it on just about anything because chocolate, when it's properly tempered, is going to contract and release as it cools. As you're working with the chocolate, make sure you clean your spatula often so that the chocolate doesn't set up on there and create ridges. Otherwise, you have to go and wash it. Alright, so I'm going to show you how to do a couple of the chocolate curls. So we'll do a thin cylinder, and then we're going to do thick individual rings. So I need, does anybody have one of those combs, or did you grab them already? The white combs? Seconds to raise it a few degrees, especially when we're working with such small amounts like we are today. And you do want to work with your chocolate at 90 degrees when you're doing decorations, because if you work with it too cool, it sets up really quick and you don't always have time to get your decorations like scraped or molded before it sets up. And you can kind of see, like I told you, this chocolate's not very fluid. It's a little more viscous. So, is that the right word? Did I say that right?
I don't know.
I always think of viscous as like loose but thicker still, but I could be wrong. Okay, so we're almost there. Let me check our temperature again. Okay, so this is at 87 degrees, so now I'm going to want to warm it up to 90. Just going to check it. So right now it's at 88 degrees, so that's good, so I'm not too warm. So now I'm just going to try to get these chips to melt without losing my temper or getting over 90.
Where'd you get that?
That's from the ThermoWorks site. So that's the digital thermometer that I had on your sheet last week. They have all kinds of cool thermometers. But the infrared really, to me, is only good for chocolate work. I just like it because it's not as messy.
Yeah.
I'm going to put it for a couple more seconds. And as I'm stirring it, I'm also smushing it. So you want to try to smush those chips out, and that'll help it to be smoother. Sometimes when you finish stirring it, it might be too cool to melt all the chips. I think that's probably the hardest part with this method is kind of gauging when to take it out and when to stir. Now if it stops melting like the chips, then you can maybe flash it in the microwave just for a few seconds at a time. So again, we don't want to go above our temp. So I might go ahead and just put this in for a few more seconds because it's not melting quite like I want.